Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Berean, and let's talk about the Blair Witch Project. Now, the Blair Witch was lightning in a bottle. It cannot be recaptured. It cannot be reproduced in any way and have the same impact that the original film did. I remember seeing this in theaters with my best friend back in 1999. We went to go see it, and I think about halfway or two-thirds of the way through, he had to step out because he was getting nauseous. Because this was the original found footage movie. It was captivating, and this was when the internet was still young, and there was so much talk about, is this real? Is this fake? Is this just a movie? And I mean, it had so much rolling around and just between people. It was such a moment in cinema history for the people that lived it. It cannot be reproduced and have the same effect because we've already seen it. We've seen it in Cloverfield, uh, Record, and Paranormal Activity, and things like that. The found footage thing is a new thing, but this was the first. And honestly, I did. I loved it. It was so interesting, so intriguing, and compelling. Even though in the back of my mind I knew this was all fake, it was very, very real being the first one. And this is why I think a reboot of this is the most foolish thing anyone could try to do. Because they made a sequel to this and it did not do well. And it just wasn't the same because it couldn't be. There's no way it could be. And but they're going to go and try to do a reboot of the Blair Witch Project. And I just don't see how it's going to have that same cultural impact. I mean, after the first Paranormal Activity, I think I saw maybe one or two more, but it was just the same thing over and over again, even though they made like 10 of them. I don't know, they keep making them. But after the first one or two, I was like, it's just the same thing over and over again. And honestly, when I was reading this article, I learned things I didn't know how much disrespect they gave the authors. I mean, they touted it as one of the most profitable independent movie releases at the time, when actually it lost money due to its huge marketing campaign. And don't get me wrong, that marketing campaign really got everyone talking and going, but it still lost money. And the fact that the studios copyrighted the actors' names to make that feel more real, that the original actors had to go to court to get the rights to their own names back. That's that's some disrespect. And Joshua Leonard, one of the stars and I want to say writers or creators of this movie, uh, has been trying to organize a 25-year anniversary event for this thing to help actors without health care. And he's been reaching out to Lionsgate and Bloomhouse with no support or whatever for it. And instead, they're like, yep, we're going to reboot it. Not try to create this humanitarian event to help those in need, but to basically say, yeah, no, we're going to do something else. And that's again disrespectful. I mean, these actors in this film, it did not launch their career. In fact, most of them had to go back to day jobs because after getting paid way less than was advertised, they had to get day jobs because they couldn't get jobs under their own names anymore. I mean, how insane is that? So, this is kind of a disrespectful thing to those actors that was such a cultural phenomenon that it blows my mind. I mean, really and truly, this was the film that changed the direction of found footage and horror for the next several decades. I guess two. But still, you can't recreate something that was the first and have the same cultural impact. I mean, it was talked about. Even I remember my grandparents talking about this movie and if it was real or not. They never saw it, of course. They weren't going to go see something like this, but they knew about it and they talked about it. They talked to me about it, what I thought about it. And this is how much of a cultural impact this singular movie had. Everyone was talking about it. You can't recreate that with the same technique. If you want to recreate something like Blair Witch Project, you have to come up with something completely different, something new, something never seen before. So, knowing that the original sequel was junk, I watched it. It's junk. Um, I'm not going to go see some remake of a cultural phenomenon because it's just going to be like photocopying an out of focus picture. No matter how much you want it to be like the original, it's going to come out looking horrible. I'm against this reboot. This is the, I don't know, 14th, 15th reboot announced this year, and a theater release schedule filled with sequels and reboots for the rest of 2024. Why would you do this? I don't know. Because they're insane. They think they can make money off of anything anymore. But I promise you, 100%, I will not touch this. This is a movie I didn't even think about on my list that I talked about in a few videos ago with the J.J. Abrams remake homage movie of Back to the Future. Blair Witch Project didn't make my list of what I thought should not be touched, but it does. It's on my list now. It shouldn't be because you can't recreate this. It's a standalone phenomena that took all of us by storm in 1999, and you just can't recreate it. And even now, people watching it for the first time, it doesn't have the same impact because they've seen this over and over again. They weren't there with the marketing campaign making us question if this movie was real found footage or if it was just a movie being made. It's something that is just bizarre. We can't recreate that exact scenario now because we all know. So Lionsgate and Blumhouse really should just scrap this. I don't know why they're even attempting it. It's stupid in my opinion, and I think they're going to fail. But looks like they're going to try anyways. And they're going to continue to disrespect the original actors who, like I said, we've never seen in anything else because there's a lot of disrespect in that. And that's the short and long of it. I don't know why you would want to reboot of this because you shouldn't. And you can't. It won't succeed. But they're going to try to milk every last penny out of every IP they own instead of taking a risk on something new. Do you know why this movie made money? Because it was risk on something new. And it succeeded in theory. Although it didn't make money, it was a cultural phenomenon. It created huge buzz, huge things. If they learned how to control a marketing budget and they had something new, something like this, they could do it again. They could recapture that lightning in a bottle, but odds are it's not going to happen because this is easier. And easier isn't always better. So, let me know what you think down below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And as always, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.